Welcome to Through Endurance We Conquer. I'm your host, Ashley Mello, and in today's episode, we're diving into how outdoor running can improve your mental health. For me, running has always been my go-to for clearing my mind and tackling stress, and I'm excited to share how you can experience the same benefits. If you're just getting started, be sure to check out my free Couch to 5K running guide at mellorunning.com. That's MELO running.com. It's a simple, beginner-friendly plan that'll help you build up to 3.1 miles in just 6 weeks. And if you have any questions or want to learn more about one-on-one coaching, feel free to reach out to me at ashley@mellorunning.com or DM me on Instagram at Through Endurance We Conquer. Today, I want to talk about the unique benefits of running outdoors, especially in nature, for mental health. We're nearing the end of February and the weather is about to start warming up, and we're also getting more sunlight as the days are getting longer. This is the time of year when most runners start transitioning from the treadmill to running outside and getting back out on the trails. And sure, treadmills are great tools to use when it's too cold or dark to run outside, but I always find myself staring at the timer and I'm not able to get the same mental benefits from treadmill running as I do from running outdoors. Maybe you felt the same and you're asking, why does running outside feel so much better than running on a treadmill or at the gym? Well, one of the most important benefits of running outside is the sunlight exposure. A 2023 study published in Risk Management and Healthcare Policy found a strong link between sunlight exposure and mental health, especially in populations that spend most of their time indoors. And we usually spend most of our time indoors for work. Sunlight increases serotonin production and is a great source of vitamin D, both of which stabilize your mood and help alleviate feelings of depression. It also helps regulate your circadian rhythm, and this promotes restful sleep. And getting enough sleep helps with overall health along with emotional stability. But sunlight isn't the only thing at play. Simply being in nature itself has been shown to significantly improve mental well-being. Studies show that spending time in nature reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and increases serotonin. A 2015 study in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that walking in nature decreased rumination, that repetitive negative thinking, compared to urban walks. This study also shows that a 90-minute walk in nature also decreased activity in the subgeneral prefrontal cortex, which leads to a better mood and stress management. So this part of the brain is linked to rumination, the overthinking, the negative thinking. When you're walking in an urban area, that part of your brain is still stimulated. But if you get out in nature, it decreases the activity in that part of the brain, which decreases the negative thinking. And that reduction in negative thinking is what puts you in a better mood and helps you manage stress. There's also the attention restoration theory, which suggests that natural environments help restore cognitive function and reduce mental fatigue. Urban environments like cities or even walking downtown, even in a small town, they're filled with a lot of different stimuli which require your attention, like traffic or even construction, and this leads to mental fatigue. However, when you're in nature, there are a lot less distractions demanding your attention. So sure, you'll still need to pay attention to where you're going, but it's not as chaotic as a more urban environment. This makes natural environments like hiking trails more restorative than running or walking in town. Research from the University of Michigan found that even looking at nature photos improved focus and memory. So even if you're not in nature, just looking at photos of it helps improve your focus and memory. And if just photos can improve that cognitive function, imagine what actually spending time in nature could do. This restoration effect might explain why outdoor exercise feels different from running on a treadmill. But is it actually better? Let's look at some more research. So when it comes to exercising outside in a natural environment versus indoor exercise, A 2011 study published in Environmental Science and Technology found that participants who exercise outdoors experienced a significant decrease in stress levels and improved mood compared to those who exercised indoors. When you're outdoors, you're exposed to fresh air, natural scents like pine, grass, flowers, and you see the changing scenery. These sensory experiences help ground you in the present moment, making the run feel more immersive and meditative. The sight of greenery and natural landscapes activates parts of the brain associated with relaxation and positive emotions. In contrast, indoor environments, which are often sterile or artificial, don't offer that same restorative benefit. So, all in all, we've seen the same pattern laid out in multiple different ways. Just being outdoors, seeing natural landscapes, seeing greenery improve your mood, it improves cognitive function, it decreases stress because it decreases activity in that part of the brain that just wants to focus on negative thinking and putting your mind in that loop of negativity. And it helps you feel a lot more calm and it can put you in a meditative state. And I know firsthand how hard it can be to get into the groove on a treadmill. I can't help but stare at the timer and I count down every single minute. I can't focus on anything else. But when I'm running outside, especially on trails, I feel like I'm connecting to something bigger than myself. And there's a lot of healing power in running in nature versus running on a treadmill or even road running if you're running in more of a city environment. I don't want to say that any one of those is better than the others, and you don't have to commit to just one. Most likely, you're going to do a combination of them all throughout your training schedule or just throughout your running practice throughout the year. And that's fine. You don't have to commit to just one. Some movement on a treadmill, if you're limited by weather or daylight, is totally fine. It'll still provide similar benefits to your mental health through the endorphins and increased serotonin from working out. But if you can run outside or plan a trail run every now and then, those runs will exponentially increase those benefits. So while running outdoors and trail running will have a larger positive impact on your mental health, you can still get a lot of benefits from running on a treadmill. So don't think you have to always go outside every single time, no matter the weather, the time of day. If it's easier for you to fit your workout in on a treadmill, do that because some activity will still have positive benefits. And sometimes, depending on the time of year, you do have to adapt and work out inside. And that's not inherently bad. I'll let you know now, I am a very biased runner. I will pick a trail race over a road race every single day of the week. When I'm trail running, I get to explore new areas, see new views, smell the fresh air, enjoy shade from the trees, dip my hat in a creek or river and pour cold water over my head. Trail running engages more of my senses and wraps me up in the moment more than road races do. During road races, I'm normally having to pay attention to other runners on the road, paying attention to traffic. I don't get to enter the same flow state that I do when I'm trail running. The hills and vistas encourage me to slow down and enjoy the views. Even though I'm challenging myself physically, and a lot of times I'm tired or in pain, especially towards the end of the races, I can still take a moment to enjoy the beauty and serenity that are around me. And that's not something that I always get in a road race. It's something I take with me into my personal life. While I've done a lot of work to improve my mental health, I still have moments where I struggle deeply with depression. Just last week, I sunk into a very dark depression for a few days. Even though I'm not able to run yet due to an injury, I went for a walk outside to help lift my mood. Similar to a race, when I'm depressed, I'm tired, I'm dealing with immense emotional pain. But when I take a moment to get outside, I can appreciate the sunlight, the wind blowing, the smell of the trees. It reminds me that even though I'm struggling in that moment, I still have a lot of things surrounding me that I can enjoy and appreciate. And that helps bring me out of that dark place a lot sooner than if I were just ruminating at home. For me, running in nature has been a powerful tool in my mental health journey, reminding me that even in tough times, there's beauty and peace to be found in the world around us. And that sense of connection is what I want to talk about next. Running in nature can help us feel connected to something bigger. It also can create a sense of awe, which is linked to well-being. Researchers from UC Berkeley found that experiencing awe, like seeing vast landscapes, reduces self-focus and increases positive emotions. I used to deal with a lot of stress at work, and I let it consume me. When I began trail running, it showed me that there's more to this world and to life than work and money. You need to step out of your daily bubble and expand your horizons. There's so much more to life than your work, and you should take time to go see and experience it. Another way that running outdoors provides a sense of connection is through practicing mindfulness and being present. The unpredictability of trails, the terrain changes, and weather changes keep you present in the moment, reducing your overthinking. Focusing on where you're placing your feet on technical trails, focusing on your breath or your fuel and water intake on longer runs helps draw your thoughts to the present moment and helps you focus on your run instead of the problems at work or with family or whatever else you may have going on. And they say that depression is related to stressing out about the past, and anxiety is related to stressing out about the future. When you're being present, you're not stressing about the past or the future. You're focused on the now. The rhythm of running and the sounds in nature can also be a natural form of meditation. By refocusing your attention on the sights and sounds around you, you're essentially practicing meditation in motion. For me, when I've tried to meditate at home by staying still, trying to refocus my thoughts on my breathing, I can't do it. My thoughts are always running, and I struggle so much to do traditional meditation. But meditation is a great thing to practice and it has so many benefits. But traditional meditation doesn't work for everyone. You may hear a lot of people talk about the flow state they feel when they're running and they focus their attention on their surroundings. And that flow state is essentially a meditative state. It's just in motion. And if you struggle with traditional meditation, running in nature can help you get into that flow state, and you'll experience the same or similar benefits to meditation while you're out running. So that's a good thing to keep in mind if you've wanted to start a meditation practice and you're just struggling to do it at home. Go outside on a trail run, see how that feels for you. If you've never ran on trails before or you're just starting out, I want to go over some tips to help you get started. So first of all, start small. You don't have to go to these remote trails. You can find a local park or a greenway or run along a bike path near a river or a beach. In those settings, you're still in a natural setting without having to be in the remote wilderness on a trail you're not familiar with. I'd also encourage you to leave the headphones at home. Maybe even turn your phone on to airplane mode so you're not distracted by texts or notifications. And this is going to help you be present in the moment when you're not distracted by your electronics. It's also a safety precaution too for when you do go out on more remote trails, because you'll want to pay attention to your surroundings. You'll want to be aware of other hikers, runners, even mountain bikers on the trails. You're going to want to be aware of wildlife. And when you're running outside, make sure to wear the proper clothing and gear. It doesn't hurt to take a light jacket with you just in case of rain. You may also want to carry a running pack where you can carry plenty of water and food with you too. It's also important to put safety first. You'll want to plan your route ahead of time. You'll want to know where you're going, especially if there are any forks in the trail that split off into different trails. And again, carry a running pack to carry plenty of water or food. You may want to take more than you think you'll need, just in case your run ends up taking more time than you planned. because when you are on trails, you will not be as fast as you are on the road. Also, let someone know where you're going so they know where you are. Let them know how long it'll take you to do your run. One of the most important things, especially on trails, is to bring a map. You could have a digital copy on your phone, but it's also a good idea to have a hard copy in your pack too, just in case your phone dies or the only version of the map you're able to get is on a website. And if you don't have signal and you can't download it or you lose the page, it's best to have a hard copy. And this is also an important thing to keep in mind for races too. Even though they have the course marked, you still want to study the maps and have a hard copy with you just in case. Because there have been many instances of runners who have taken a wrong turn and gotten lost and they didn't have a map on them. So it's very important to have that on you to know where you're going so you can find your way back. And when you're on trails, whether you're racing or running on your own, your safety is your responsibility, and you should always be prepared for anything that may come up. It's also a good idea to research the wildlife in the area so you know what to look out for when you're running. It's also important to learn what to do in case you run into a bear or a mountain lion on the trail. You don't want to be out running and then be surprised and then be frozen and not know what to do, or worse, run away, because they are predators and they do have that chase instinct. So it's important to learn the correct way to handle those situations so you can get out of it safely. You'll also want to listen to your gut. If you ever have the sinking feeling that it's just not safe to keep going forward on the trail, you can always turn around. And if you're worried about not getting the right mileage for the day because you ended up cutting the run short, you can always just do a few out and backs on that section that you ran. You don't have to force yourself to keep going just to get the mileage. If something in the pit of your stomach is telling you something's not right, don't go forward. So you want to listen to your instincts. Another great tip is to hike the area first before you plan a training run. This will allow you to be more familiar with the area, get comfortable with the trails, know what to look out for as far as wildlife or any diverging trails so you know where you're going, what to look out for, and you're familiar with the area. That way, when you're doing that hike to scope out the area, you don't feel this pressure to get in a certain mileage, to stick to your workout schedule for the day. You're just getting to know the area with no pressure. When you're running outside year-round, you'll need to embrace different weather conditions. So for example, that's making sure you have a jacket for the rain, making sure you have proper warm clothing if you're in an area with very, very low temperatures. Make sure you bring plenty of water and electrolytes when it's very hot and humid. So you're going to want to get comfortable in those different environments. That also means if weather doesn't allow you to travel to remote trails, find parks nearby that give you a similar experience to running outdoors. For example, when snow prevents me from running on trails near Sequoia National Park, I go to this trail that goes around Bravo Lake, and it's just a short, flat, about 4-mile trail, but I can access it year-round. There's no road closures. When I'm on the trail, I can still see the mountains in the distance, so I'm still getting all of the benefits of running on a trail, but in a safer environment during the winter months. And finally, learn to embrace the challenges. You might get caught in the rain, or encounter rough terrain you weren't expecting, or even get lost and have to navigate your way back. These are all situations that can, and probably will, happen to you on race day. And while you can train for a trail race strictly on a treadmill or flat terrain, gaining experience on real trails and learning how to overcome these obstacles will build the confidence you need to handle similar situations when race day comes. It's good to get that trail experience so you're prepared for race day, and when you encounter those problems, you've already been through it before and you know what to do. Overall, there are many benefits to running in nature and outside for your mental health. There's the sunlight exposure, which increases serotonin, and that helps with your sleeping and stabilizes your mood. Spending time in nature reduces the stress hormone cortisol and increases serotonin. It helps you restore cognitive function and reduce mental fatigue. And when you're outdoors, you're exposed to fresh air and natural scents and scenery, and all of these help ground you in the present moment. So you're able to practice mindfulness and enter a meditative state and just relax and let go of a lot of your negative thinking. For this week's challenge, I want you to try running in a park or a trail this week and notice how your mind feels afterwards. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and see what your favorite outdoor running spot is. So if you'd like to post pictures of where you ran this week or share your favorite running spot, tag me on Instagram at Through Endurance We Conquer. And remember, if you want personalized support, reach out to me for one-on-one coaching. My contact information and the sources for today's episode are included in the show notes. Next week, we'll talk about the link between nutrition and mental health. So don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with a friend. Thank you for listening. I hope today's episode inspires you to get outside for a run, walk, or hike. Keep showing up, trust the process, and remember, it's through endurance that we conquer.